Hey guys, this is Primeval, back with part 21 of my Shoshone playthrough. So, I think it was 2 videos ago that we made a favorable peace deal with the Iroquois. They gave us Montreal, and then we sold them Osinka back for a bunch of luxuries that kept us happy. At the moment, Montreal is costing us a lot of unhappiness, so we're getting a good 42.75 unhappiness from puppeted cities, and of which Montreal is one. And so they're going to be in resistance for another 17 turns. On the plus side, we finally have Onondaga out of resistance, and we're getting a huge amount of tourism and culture from Onondaga. So over in Onondaga, we are currently pumping 42 culture and 36 tourism. And some of that is because of some nice theming bonuses here off of Broadway and a museum. So after we made peace with the Iroquois, we shifted our focus over to the Zulu, and we're having a pretty easy time with the Zulu. I am toying with the idea of stripping the Zulu of all of their other cities, leaving them with their new capital directly adjacent to the Iroquois capital, and hopefully they'll constantly be at least angry with each other, and they'll just let me have the rest of the continent to myself, because I have a lot to worry about on the other continent. Let's see, and the other continent is covered with nuclear fallout. The Ethiopian capital has been nuked, although it looks like... I'm assuming Gandhi would have dropped the nuke directly on the capital, so it looks like he's cleaned up some of that, and he probably already had a bomb shelter, or he had a ridiculously high pop there to begin with. But the entire northern hemisphere of this continent is covered with nuclear fallout. London's also taken some nice hits here. I'm definitely glad that I sold all that uranium to Gandhi. Now, for this whole plan of leaving Shaka and Hiawatha, these two cities right beside each other, that has the added bonus. If I can strip the Zulu of all of their coastal cities, they'll have no choice but to set up trade routes with only myself, especially if they only have one city. And they won't be able to trade with the Iroquois because the Iroquois currently have an embargo against them. So that's definitely an interesting idea. Let's see now. What wonders does Shaka have? He's got Machu Picchu and the Parthenon. I don't know where the Parthenon is, but Machu Picchu must belong to this city, since that's where the sprite for Machu Picchu is. And if I can get Machu Picchu, and also make sure that Montreal, Onondaga, Grand River get hooked up to my trade route, that will actually help get my gold per turn back into the positive, or at least closer to the positive. We can do a quick comment round out here. Moss Tubby asks why I'm running such a horribly negative gold per turn. And so here we can see the breakdown. 146 is spent on unit maintenance. I do have a sizable army. It's not so large compared to, say, Ethiopia or even England, but it is above average, and while it's not the largest army, it is very effective. A lot of my bombers have logistics so they can attack twice, and a lot of other nice promotions. I'm also spending 254 gold per turn on building maintenance, and a lot of that maintenance is probably coming from some of my puppeted cities, although I definitely have a lot of buildings in my core non-puppeted cities as well. 63 gold spent on tile improvements. That means these roads. Perhaps once my workers are done completing this road, I can start removing extra roads, especially extra roads that connect to Iroquois cities, which are useless to me, because there's no way that Hiawatha is going to send or sell me open borders. So because we have a lot of roads that aren't actually giving us city connections, all 3 of these cities are not connected to our capital, or actually make that 4 cities. We're only breaking even. We're spending 63 gold per turn on roads, and we're only getting 63 for connections to our capital. So if we can connect up these 4 cities to our capital, and maybe even capture Machu Picchu, then the connections between cities will actually help us out as far as gold per turn goes. We are also giving 5 gold to another civilization. Perhaps we can get some concessions out of the Zulu as well, and that'll help our gold per turn. So that's our financial situation at the moment. Mikhail Grzyboski asks why I haven't been using my faith points. And so a lot of this has to do with not having a clear plan from the beginning, and this being one of the first Brave New World games that I've played. So one of the changes they've made in Brave New World is, in order to buy great people with faith, you have to fill out the entire tree. So for example, completing all of rationalism will allow the purchasing of great scientists with faith. And so this is a change from Brave New World, or change in Brave New World compared to Gods and Kings, where in Gods and Kings you just needed to open the tree to be able to buy a great person. And so the 2 most valuable great people to buy would be either scientists or great engineers. And now great engineers are unlocked by tradition. And so completing the tradition tree, there's the added bonus of being able to buy great engineers, but in this particular playthrough I went Liberty. I'm actually liking tradition a lot more in Brave New World. I think it's superior to Liberty in many cases. So, because we haven't completed any relevant trees, the only things we're able to purchase are great prophets, missionaries, and inquisitors. And so now that I do have control of my continent, or I'm about to have control, I might go and purchase a great prophet and make sure that I have I can spread my religion a little better to the continent, since I can't really use the faith for anything else, and it won't really give me that much of a benefit. The founder belief that I chose was ceremonial burial, which has been nerfed relative to Gods and Kings. Now it provides 1 happiness for every 2 cities rather than for every city following my religion. So I don't have too much of an incentive to go and spread that religion, but I think I will get around to doing that either this episode or the next, once I make peace with the Zulu. Just because then I'll be able to demonstrate the religious pressure mechanic, which I know confuses quite a few people. Alright, I think we need to go and get back into the game now. A gold deal with Gandhi has ended. Truffles, cotton, and gold. So, at one point in time we were getting a bunch of gold from Ethiopia, but we're not friends anymore, so we won't be able to get a lump sum off of him. Let's see, luxuries, sugars and truffle. He'll give me uranium, which I don't really want, and gold per turn. How about 11? 12 gold per turn. And he wants me to vote for him as world leader. How about 10? Okay, well, before I start selling luxuries, let's see how close these guys are to becoming very unhappy. So, both Ethiopia and England are taking a minus 46 hit to their happiness, but they're still in the positive, and Ethiopia is at a ridiculous plus 45 happiness, so I'm not going to be able to get him into city flipping anytime soon, although England is getting close. So I'm going to avoid trading any luxuries with Elizabeth unless she gives me a fair deal. Ah yes, and in between turns there, which I wasn't recording, Ethiopia did denounce us, so that's a problem. Let's go and check on our friend India. Perhaps there's something we can sell him. Cotton. We do have spare cotton. World Congress. I could vote for India. It won't be enough to have him win. And he's willing to give me 9 gold per turn. or 9 gold and 8 gold per turn, plus coal and open borders, which isn't really worth it. Perhaps next turn, when he's got a little more gold, I'll go and sell him either the cotton or a few votes. So when you sell your votes in the World Congress, you only sell your core votes. So in this case, I believe that should be 4 votes. Yeah, we have 4 votes from membership. The other votes, such as from World Wonders or from City-States, Ideology, etc., do not get sold. So the rest of those I'll be free to assign to myself. Alright, let's get going here. If I do want to capture Machu Picchu, then I need to get units near the city for the actual capture, and I need to clean up these units who will get in the way. So, are my... Yes, I am in striking distance of Gandaloo. Yes. Okay, so there was also a question from Philip Downar about what shortcuts I use, keyboard shortcuts I use when I play. So, for the airstrike, the keyboard shortcut is S, and when I flip between units, I'm using the period, or I guess less than sign, and the comma to switch back is, or the greater than sign, or the 2 little arrows allow me to switch between units. Rebasing is Alt-R. To find out what all the hotkeys are, you just need to mouse over whatever action you want to take. It can be more convenient that way. Another common question is where the resource icons come from, so you can go and turn the resource icons on and off. Some people feel like the icons clutter things up, but I do enjoy seeing them, so hopefully you can get over the visual distraction. There's also the hex grid, which I also enjoy having on, but it does distract visually, so maybe for this episode we'll turn the hex grid off. I also like seeing the trade routes. I do like having as much visual information as possible, even if it takes away from the visual appeal, at least the preference for some people have for the visual appeal anyways. So let's go and do an air sweep over the Machu Picchu city, and I guess that's out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go sweep Machu Picchu. No resistance, so we can start bombing that out, and we'll finally repair that silver, which I hadn't gotten around to, but one of you guys had pointed out for me. Let's also go and finish this uranium mine. Go bomb this down, pillage, heal. What else do we want here? We can get a privateer ready to capture the old Babylonian city there. Another suggestion, which I agree with, is to capturing all of these Zulu cities will put too much of our strain on our happiness, so I can go and give those to Babylon, since Babylon is likely to remain our friends for a long time, so they can be our little vassal. Let's go and air sweep that, no resistance. Okay, submarine. Can hunt around for other subs. Got a mobile SAM that I can may as well move closer to capturing this city, and I can move the horsemen as well. Let's drop them over there. Artillery, let's roll that forward. 2, you can heal up, and let's start striking down this city. I guess I don't even have vision on that. So, because it's blocked by all these hills, getting vision on this city is going to be difficult. I guess I'll just go and use the bombers to clean up all these units first. Okay. Well, since I don't really want to capture Nobamba, I'll send all the siege units at these infantry instead. Oh yes, we definitely want to take down that ironclad. And while we're here, I guess we can go and shoot down that worker. And we'll leave him there. Oh, also I use the spacebar, which is just the skip unit. That's also a useful key. So, let's see. Yes, so do nothing, space key. This guy looks fairly injured. Okay, can we get close enough to get vision on the city? Maybe in another turn. Okay, bombers. Alright, that looks fine. We're going to move on these two cities. We'll try to leave this city as Shaka's only remaining city. And we'll get rolling. So, I am leaving for a 4-day camping trip today, which means there might be a bit of a hiatus as far as my videos go, depending on how many videos I can make in the next, or at least before I have to leave. So, in the meantime, while I'm taking a break from Civ, that'll give you guys a chance to vote on what sort of victory condition you want me to go for. At the moment, either military or space victory would be the most viable. We are 4% behind the leader here, but I'm halfway done the Hubble Space Telescope, and I'm hoping I'll be able to complete it. Speaking of which, we should probably reassign some of our spies to go and try to steal some techs, or at least see what the Ethiopians are up to. 71 chance of a coup. Let's try a coup here. Coup failure. Aw, man, my most veteran spy. Oh well, these things happen. Let's go and spy on the Ethiopian capital. And should we try another coup? 2 failures in a row? I wonder if they're at all related. Coup success. Alright, 1 failure, 1 success. That's nice. Where is Iffy anyways? Alright, it's over on the other continent. It hasn't taken any nukes. Ooh. So Ethiopia's got the strongest army, and it looks like the Indians are starting to fall to that. They'll probably lose their capital in a couple turns, and it looks like London is recovering some of its hit points. So that's too bad. It would have been nice if the Indians were able to capture the English capital there. Elizabeth has completed the Apollo program. There's a little chunk of our territory over one, and it's got an aircraft carrier in it. Gandhi has declared war on Shaka. We want furs, this new citizen, and we've connected this city to our trade network, which is nice. I'm guessing it's got a harbor and the blockade on it just ended. So now we're getting 80 gold from trade connections, which is better than last turn where we were only making 63. An English spy stole atomic theory from our capital, which is too bad. I guess I moved the capital, my spy from my capital at exactly the wrong time. Let's perhaps move this guy to our capital for some counter-espionage then. We have a whole bunch of promotions we can take. Let's go grab Siege 3, Siege 2, Siege 2, and Logistics. Okay. So, we still don't have vision on the city with Machu Picchu, but if I go and stand on this hill, that should get me what I want to see. Yes, there we go. Alright, you can stay there. Bombers. First we'll want to do an air sweep. No resistance. Got the submarine. Okay, more bombers here. You can also go and set up some artillery. And could run into range of the city. And destroy over there. Okay, this bomber should probably heal up. So what I'm doing each time I bomb is going and checking on the hit points of that bomber. I don't want to lose the bomber by using it when it only has, say, 25 hit points left. Alright, so next turn we should be able to take this city, probably with the mobile SAM, assuming the rider gets killed. Let's go and drop this guy in there as well. Okay, well that looks good. On to the next turn then. Right, so I was talking about asking you guys what victory condition I should go for. Military victory has also been changed in Brave New World. Now, you don't just need to be the last person to control your capital. You also have to control everyone else's capital. So, Shaka wants peace and is willing to offer 2 of his cities. I think I want a better deal than that. We've lost a whole bunch of units here. We lost our anti-aircraft gun to an anti-aircraft gun, and as well as the Great General that was there, so that was a little careless, but I don't really need the Great General. Our gold per turn is starting to dip down a little more, but we have a lot more gold coming in as well. Our expenses have also decreased since we've lost a couple units, and of course lowers our unit maintenance. Hawatha has declared war on Shaka. That's definitely funny. gold we're getting from Ethiopia's ended. Peace treaty with Kathmandu. 5 turns until the world leader vote. And a whole lot of promotions that we can take. Siege 2. Siege 1. And this artillery. We could go grab range on that and maybe try to hide back here somewhere. Can also go and promote this unit. Okay, so we're definitely going to have to do some air sweeps here. No resistance, so it was just the one anti-aircraft gun. And I'm hoping we're safe here. Let's make sure we remember to take down that ironclad. Okay, good. Mobile SAM is fine. Go forward 1 and pillage to heal before we capture the city. Which of you has... Alright, so we'll have to capture it with the mobile SAM, which means I'll probably want to go and kill this anti-aircraft gun first. So, sorry I'm not saying too much just now. In the late game, it's just a lot of moving units around, especially if you're doing anything more military-oriented. And that's the reason that, for those of you who watched some of my Celts playthrough a couple months ago, I did end up stopping that playthrough, just because it would have been a lot of this long, hard slog of just sending units around and with not really too much to say. But since this playthrough is a lot more popular than my last playthrough, I'll definitely finish this, even if it means I don't feel like I have too much useful information to impart. Okay, so here we got 202 gold and 4 great works. That's definitely nice. Let's go and view the city. It's got Machu Picchu and the Parthenon, so we managed to liberate or relieve Shaka of all of his world wonders. It's even got an observatory and a research lab, so that's pretty nice. I'm happy to have that. We'll go and create a puppet. And we're still happy, so that's great. As far as great works go, since we don't actually get the culture or tourism while the city's in resistance, let's go and move some of these great works around. Montreal is still in resistance, so we'll want to move that over to a city where we'd actually get some benefit from that. Likewise, here, Onondaga is ours. Do we have another museum? No. Is Ulundi? No, we'll go shove those in Onondaga then. Montreal has been cleared out, no more great works. Grand River and Ulundi. Let's go and drop that into Gattaca. Okay, good. We could try for a theming bonus here. We need same era, same civilization. We've got Zulu Renaissance, Shoshone Renaissance. Not even a partial theming bonus, eh? Alright, so, great works of art. If I could get another Zulu Renaissance, then I'd be able to get the theming bonus over at Ufuzi. But just shifting our great works around, you can see brought us up another 13 tourism, so that's nice. We're nowhere near winning the tourism victory, but if you guys really want to see that, we can try for that. It won't be a real tourism victory. It'll more of just be a military victory, and we play with our food after it's well and beaten. Okay, so you can heal up there. Although this city looks fairly safe, and I don't think it's going to be retaken, so let's go and rebase some of those guys. You can hang out there for now, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to fortify. And that's all of our bombers done. We'll have you rebase as well. And we may as well send a fighter over too. Alright, that looks good. Okay, so I think this is where we'll end part 21. Sorry if there was more exposition without playing than some of you might like. I think next turn will be more playing and less talking. In fact, probably less commentary overall. But in any case, Primeval signing off.